Hey, hi, it's Marisa here, and I make videos for YouTube, and today's video is all about books. So it is rainy where I live right now, so I just wanted to cuddle up and talk about something that I love, aka books. So I was just putting together a list of like 10 or so books that I recommend to read this summer, because even though summer is a time off from school, I still think it's a good time to read. I totally advocate reading whenever because it's so good for your brain and you totally learn things and it's just so great. So read a book. I totally recommend if you just read one book from my list. That would be so cool, and all these are like super good. And yeah, so let's just get into my favorite book. Also, if you could like leave a comment of a book that you recommend for me to read this summer, I would totally appreciate it. I love all kind of books. I'm really into historical fiction, even though I haven't read a book like that in forever. I kept all these kind of books just like lighthearted, short kind of stories, good for summer. And so something like that could be a recommendation would be totally appreciated. So the first book that I recommend is Paper Towns by John Green, and this is becoming a movie. You've probably seen the trailer. I've watched it at least like 3 or 4 times. This is not my favorite John Green book, but I still really like it. I think it's a great book for the summer, and it really just like makes you think, and it's super funny. It's not going to really make you cry like The Fault in Our Stars would, because I start crying on like page 260 or something of The Fault in Our Stars, and I cry like all the way until the end. But this is a lot funnier and lighthearted, and I really recommend all John Green books. I've read like all of them because I'm just a really big fan of his writing. My favorite from his actually is An Abundance of Catherine's, so you should check that one out as well. Okay, this book I haven't read. It is Gone Girl, and it was really cool like last year, I think. I just remember a lot of people talking about it, and it's a little more mature and stuff. It's different from what I usually read, so that's why I picked it up. I don't know, but we could read it together and that would be cool, so that's my second book. This book I read last summer. It's called The Goldfinch, and it's by Donna Tart. Yeah. And she's a really interesting author. She writes like, comes out with like one book every like 10 years, and they're all really good. This book is like, okay, let's see how long it is. It is like 777 pages long, which is probably the biggest book I've ever read. But I really actually enjoyed it. I had to read it for school, but it ended up being just a really good book in general. It's just different. I really like it, and I kind of just recommend it if you want a big solid book to just kind of like take your time and read. I think this is a good one. So the series that I recommend for this summer that would be like kind of fun just to read is the Divergent series, and this is the last book. This is Allegiant. So yeah, this is by Veronica Roth, and they are made into movies with Shailene Woodley and Ansel and Theo James. Theo James though. But I think it's really cool like after watching the movie to try the book then, because the book can be really different, and there are tons of differences between the book and the movie since I've read all the books and I've watched all the movies, and just because it's an adaptation they're going to leave stuff out, so I think it's really interesting to go back and then read the book, so I recommend that. And in the comments, if you read any of the books and you want to talk about it, I totally would love that, because this third book, the ending of it, I don't even want to talk about it. I don't. Okay, so this is more of an author, but Sarah Dessen. I read one of her books like every summer. Read her all the time. She's a really cool author. She's really good for like teen girls, I think. Just like, I feel like I can connect so much with her writing. So this one's called That Summer, but she has tons of other good ones. Can't really think of any of them right now, but if you like Google search it, you'll find them. But I really like this, and I just kind of recommend her if you like want a beach book to just kind of like throw in your bag that's like lighthearted and like just, you know, casual, then this is a good read. Okay, so this book is called Wonder, and it is by R.J. Palacio? No. But this is one of my favorite books. It's super short. I read it in like a day, and I think that everyone in the world should read this book. It's 304 pages. It's funny, it's cute, it's just, you know, really interesting. It makes you think about people and like how you treat them, and I just really like it. And honestly, like a third grader or a fourth grader could, not maybe third grade, like a fifth grader would read this, and I just think adults should read it, and kids. I really like this book, and it's just about this kid and who has like a face kind of like problem, like deformation, and like how he like struggles with that. I just think that's really interesting, and I recommend it a lot. This book is called It's Kind of a Funny Story, and it's by Ned Vizzin. And it is also a movie, but I've never seen the movie, but I really want to, but it's on Netflix, so how am I supposed to watch it? And it is so good. It's so funny. It's about this boy who has depression, which you would think would be like really sad, but it's not. It's hilarious. And I read it last summer, and last summer I went to New York, and this is based in New York, like the kid lives in New York, and so that was really cool, and I really thought it was a great book, and I totally recommend it because, again, it makes you think, and it's like cute and funny, and I just appreciate books like that so much. So recommend this summer reading that I don't have with me, like I don't have the actual book, but it is called Eleanor Park, and that is one of my favorite books ever. It's by Rowel, which is one of my favorite authors ever. It's so hard to pick like one favorite author, but she's definitely up there. Like, her name is Rainbow. Like, how could you not love her? But yes, she also has this book called Fangirl, which I also really like. They're two totally different books, so I recommend reading like the blurb / excerpt of the book, of those books, to like see which one you want to read, but I totally recommend both. She also has this other book called Attachments and Landline, which I haven't read either of those, but I'm totally getting on that and reading those this summer. But yes, I just love her writing. I just can't even like put it into words. I totally recommend reading her because she just is great. So yeah. Book recommendation is my favorite book ever. I just thought I would put this out there. It's The Outsiders, a classic. I read this book all the time. It's like the book I read when I'm sad or I want something to read, or I don't know. It's just my favorite book. I read it for the first time in 7th grade, I think. 7th grade. Yeah, I read it for the first time in 7th grade, and I've probably read it like 30 times after that. There's like this and Twilight and the Hunger Games series. I will just like reread all those books all the time. I don't know, I'm so weird, I'm sorry. But yeah, this is just a great book. It's, again, pretty short. It's only 180 pages. It's just great. I don't want to like say everything that happens in it. It's also a movie, and it has a lot of hot boys in it, and it's from like the 80s. I don't know. That's really embarrassing that I don't know when it came out. I don't know. But I love the book, and I love the movie. I like the book more though. But yeah, it's just great, funny, sad. It has everything in it. It also has like Robert Frost's poem in it. I mean, like, what else could you ask for in a book? So yeah, this is just my favorite of all time. If like I could read one book forever, it would be this. And so that's why I'm putting it on my list, because I think everybody should read it. Okay, so that's all my book recommendations. I hope you guys have a great summer. Mine just started, and I'm so excited for it. If you're not in summer yet, then maybe you can still check out these books because they're still super cool. But yeah, so I hope you guys have a good rest of the day, and thumbs up this video if you like reading. Or you can just thumbs up it anyway. Also subscribe if you want to see more videos from me, and I'll just see you in my next video. Bye!